One of the most important parts of the process of fall protection installation is product testing. In this video, we'll go over some of the most important things to know and some misinformation to avoid. OSHA has specific guidelines in place to ensure that anchors that are tested meet sufficient strength requirements. OSHA requires that rooftop anchorages used for suspended access be identified, tested, certified, and maintained to be capable of supporting a 5,000-pound load in any direction. Additionally, ANSI requires that testing should be performed in all directions permitted by the manufacturer's user instructions. To break these standards down simply, testing should reveal that even the weakest direction of an anchor can be pulled will still withstand a 5,000-pound load. Because of this, testing an anchor multiple times in multiple directions isn't necessary, since testing the weakest direction is sufficient. When testing is required, we often see vertical pull tests performed, attempting to meet this standard. Equipment to perform this test is readily available, and it's an easy test to perform, since it doesn't require another structural connection capable of withstanding a 5,000-pound load. This is because the force applied vertically is just distributed down through the roof and building structure. A vertical pull test only tests the anchor in its strongest direction. This test also does not simulate the real-world scenario. The anchor would almost certainly never experience a high-force event vertically. Rather, it would result from the user falling and be applied suddenly in a horizontal direction. The height of the stanchion would apply significant leverage to the structural connection, and this would stress the weakest point of the anchorage. We should perform a test to ensure that the load requirements are met in this scenario. A more accurate way to test the anchorage would be to do a horizontal pull test, anchor to anchor. This method of testing ensures that anchorages are pull tested in the direction of use and account for the greater leverage force applied at the structural connection. To illustrate this principle, we did two load tests. During the first load test, the anchor passed the test when the load was applied vertically. During the second test, the same load was applied horizontally, which resulted in failure. Now that we've performed a correct test, here's a few more things to consider when anchorage testing. Number 1. Testing must be performed under the supervision of a qualified person, which in most cases is a professional engineer, to ensure everything related to the test is being handled properly. Number 2. Do everything you can to test an anchorage in the direction of use. Sometimes it's just not possible to test an anchorage in the direction of use, usually because of a lack of structure to attach testing equipment. But if we do not test anchors in the direction of use, we need to be sure that it's impossible and not just inconvenient. Diversified Fall Protection designs, engineers, manufactures, installs, and certifies fall protection systems. When we test anchors in the field, whenever possible, we test them in the direction of use, anchor to anchor. We believe this meets the requirements of the code and simulates the real-world use of the anchorage. This allows us to certify anchorages with confidence, knowing we've done our best to protect the lives of workers at height. Learn more at fallprotect.com.